So today I want to talk to you about something that we at VV Insider think is super important when it comes to your Virgin Voyages vacation. And that's how you spend your very first night on board. The reason why we think this is so important is because what you do on your very first night of your voyage can have a huge impact on the rest of your vacation. I want to talk through why that is and how you can make the most of your very first night to have the best vacation possible. VV Insider is the #1 resource for the latest Virgin Voyages info, guides and news. From picking the perfect cabin to booking dining or simply just making the most of your voyage and saving money while you do it, VVinsider.com has helped thousands of sailors around the world sail smarter. Support our work by hitting subscribe and stick around to hear how you can get exclusive perks by booking directly with us. So you've done it, you've checked in, you've got your sailor wristband on, and you're ready to have a really fantastic vacation on your Virgin voyage. Now, as you walk down the gangway and onto the ship, the very first thing you'll notice is there is going to be a fantastic lively atmosphere on board. So when you're actually embarking on your Virgin voyage, as soon as you step in, there's a live DJ playing music, and there's also members of the entertainment team ready to welcome you on board as well. The members of the entertainment team will be dressed in red jumpsuits, and the entertainment team on board Virgin Voyages are called the Happenings Cast. And there's lots to say about the Happenings Cast, and we'll be making a video about that in the future. But for now, we have a fantastic guide which explains exactly who the Happenings Cast are and what they're responsible for on board. You may have already heard of some of the roles like the hostess or the diva, but actually there's a list of 12 different roles in the Happenings Cast, and many of them are responsible for different types of activity on board. So I'm going to put a link to that guide down in the notes so you can have a read. But for now, they're simply there to welcome you on board and welcome you to the Virgin Voyages experience. We'll talk more about them in just a moment. So now that you're on, you'll be wanting to know what to do next. So here's my first bit of advice. Do not use this time just to wander around the ship aimlessly. What you want to do is get connected to the Wi-Fi and make sure you're doing everything in the Virgin Voyages app that you need to do as everyone else is wandering around and trying to get their bearings on board. You've got plenty of time to do that later on today. Right now, you want to make sure that you're booking any experiences or any dining that you didn't manage to book before you boarded. So if you've read our VV Insider guide on booking dining, you'll know that quite a lot of the dining actually opens up the day of the sailing. So if you haven't managed to get that perfect booking for the restaurant that you wanted, now is a great time to check. Now you're on board, open up the app and take a look at those all-important dining times and try and snag the slot that you want. Take advantage of the fact that everyone else who's just got on board is simply wandering around aimlessly. Now is your chance to get on the app and snipe the perfect dining times. And that goes for the onboard events as well. So some of the happenings events, like the food and drink events, for example, do tend to sell out quite early on in the voyage. So now is the perfect time, again, as everyone else is wandering around the ship, to get on the app and book those all-important experiences in there. If you miss out, you can add yourself to a waiting list, but it is best to make sure that you get this done early so you can just enjoy and relax the rest of your voyage, knowing that you have all of your bookings in place as they should be. If you're not sure about what dining and what entertainment options you want to book, again, make sure that you visit VVinsider.com. We have a list of all the dining options and all of those fun events that you can book with the Happenings Cast. So make sure before you get on board, you know exactly what you want to book and do that as soon as you board to avoid any disappointment. Some of the things to look out for that book up very, very quickly are things like the bungee classes and also some dining and restaurants that are a bit smaller. So for example, Pink Agave is quite a small restaurant. So make sure that you book those and make those a priority when you're booking those slots. So once you've done all of your admin and you've done all of your bookings, yes, it sounds pretty boring, but you'll not regret it. Now would be a great time to do exactly what you wanted to do in the first place, which is just roam around and get a feel for the vibe of the ship. Maybe grab yourself a drink from one of the bars and really enjoy the atmosphere of the ship and use this time to get your bearings. So later in the voyage, when you see things in the lineup on the app, you'll know where to head. So for example, if you see something like the Speed Puzzle Challenge is going to be in the social club, you'll know where to head for that event when it comes along. Also, now is a great time to visit some of those venues that you wouldn't normally be able to access when we're sailing. So what I mean by that is now is a great time to go to those venues that you would normally need to book. So for example, you can head down to the Redemption Spa. and take a look at the facilities. The staff there will be more than happy to give you a little tour of the facilities so that you'll know where to come if you decide to book one of those experiences or one of the thermal passes later on in your voyage. It's also a great time to pop your head into the groupie private karaoke rooms. They will be available to book, but it's unlikely somebody would have booked a room for the very first day. So now is a great time just to pop your head in, try out some of the equipment and see whether it's something you want to book for later on in your voyage. And it's free, so you may as well pop your name down later on in the voyage and give it a go. You can also go up to deck 15 and have a look at the tune-up as well, which is the location on board where you can get things like mani-pedis with a fantastic view of the ocean. Again, all of the venues that I've just mentioned there, I'll pop a link down below in the description so you can have a look at RVV Insider description of those places before you head on board. Because the boarding groups are staggered, it's likely that when you get on board, there's still quite a few hundred people behind you ready to get on as well. So take advantage of that time where things are a little bit more quiet. If you want to do a salon experience or something in the Redemption Spa, now is a great time to do that because you're not going to be competing with other people. And sometimes they do special offers where you can get money off or a discount on some of the treatments on the very first day of the voyage. So I encourage you to go down and have a look and ask the staff to see if there are any offers available. One of the fantastic things with Virgin Voyages is that you don't need to wait around for your cabin to become available. So as soon as you're on board, you can use your wristband to unlock your room door. Your luggage might not have arrived in that time, but you can pop in there and drop your hand luggage down. You can drop your backpack off. You can maybe even freshen up a little bit. So you'll have full access to the room. And it's also a great time to meet your cabin host. Your cabin host will likely be operating in the corridor, and they'll check to see if you've entered the room, and they'll introduce themselves and ask if you need any configuration done in your cabin. This is the exact time that you want to tell them about any preferences. So if you want to ask for a mattress topper or a steamer for your clothes or extra pillows or any changes in the bed configuration, now is a great time to do that. Now you can do this at any point in your voyage by using the controls on the tablet or asking sailor services in the app, but your cabin host will want to make sure that they get your preferences right from the outset. So that's a great time to do it. Now, when you're in your room, you'll want to make sure that you finish your part of the safety muster. So there is a video that you need to watch. You can either do this on your app or you can watch it on the TV screen in your cabin. It's a fun animated video and it will tell you about the safety information that you need to know because you're, of course, on a sailing vessel. So you'll need to know about life jackets, where to go when you hear particular alarms, for example. All of the information that you'll need is in the video. So make sure you pay attention to that. Later on in the afternoon, there will be a ship-wide announcement to say that the muster stations have opened. Make sure you have watched the safety video because you will be asked about it at your muster station. If you're having any problems at all finding your muster station, it will be on your app. You'll have a letter which will correspond to the location that you'll need to go to. And if you have any problems finding it at all, simply ask any member of staff and they will point you in the right direction. Once you're at the muster station, make sure that you have everyone in your cabin there, because what you'll do is you'll check into that muster station. So they will scan your band and check you in on their device. Once you've done that, that's your responsibility for the muster drill done, and you can get on and enjoy the rest of your voyage. So now all of the formalities are done with. Now we can get on with really enjoying the voyage. In our opinion at VV Insider, one of the best things about any Virgin Voyages are the other sailors that you meet while you're on board. We have a few tips in this regard to try and meet new people and have the best time possible. Now, of course, you don't have to pay any attention to these tips if you prefer to keep yourself to yourself, but I do encourage trying to meet new people when you're voyaging. It just makes the whole experience so much more enjoyable in our opinion. So with that being said, Virgin Voyages actually run a fantastic event for solo sailors. So if you're sailing solo, you can go along to the Solo Sailor Meetup. This meetup is specifically for other solo sailors. When you join this meetup, it will be hosted by a member of the Happenings cast, which I mentioned earlier. The Happenings cast will guide the event and lead some activities to help solo sailors get to know one another. You can form a little bit of a group that you can stick with for the rest of the voyage, which is lovely. Towards the end of this meetup, the Happenings cast will then lead you upstairs to the Sail Away party. This is where the fun really begins. This is the Let's Set Sail Sail Away party. And this is the first opportunity that you'll get to really experience that Virgin Voyages vibe. So late afternoon, the Let's Set Sail Sail Away party normally happens at the Aquatic Club, which is around the pool. Now, of course, weather dependent. If the weather isn't looking so great, they might have moved the party into the roundabout, which is the atrium style area. But that is rare, and generally the entertainment's manager will try and make sure that the party does happen on the pool because it is much more fun up there, to be honest. So grab a place by the pool because the DJ is about to get the party started. So the volume of the music will be turned up. This is where they transition from the muster drills, the safety, the administration of getting on board, and moving over to the full party mode of Virgin Voyages. Now, of course, this full party mode that I talk about is completely optional. If you prefer to stand on deck 16 and simply watch everything happen, that's entirely up to you. Me personally, I like to be downstairs on deck 15 and dancing around the pool with a drink in my hand. That's just me. After a while, as the music's been playing, the crew will meander around the pool with glasses of free bubbles. This is a free sparkling wine that's provided to really toast to the new sailing. So do make sure you grab a glass, because now is the time that you'll start to see the Happenings cast start to join the party. So the Happenings cast will come out in their iconic red jumpsuits and start dancing around the pool and getting people in that party spirit. This will generally be your first opportunity to have a little conversation with the Happenings cast and get to know them one-on-one. So make sure you take the opportunity because, of course, these are the people that will be leading the entertainment activities for the rest of your voyage. So getting to know who they are earlier in the voyage is a really great way to build that rapport and have a really great time with them. And if you're having a great time in these entertainment events and become somewhat of a familiar face, it can lead to fun surprises and special events later on. So do try and make sure that you attend these Happenings events. During the Let's Set Sail party, the hostess and the diva will make their appearance on deck 16. The hostess will command the crowd and raise a toast and do individual introductions for members of the Happenings cast. And once the Happenings cast has been introduced, there is a fantastic toast raised to the voyage ahead. So raise that glass of free sparkling wine and toast to the voyage ahead. It's a really fantastic way to start the Virgin Voyage experience, and that's generally where the ship will actually be setting sail, so leaving port. So you might see people disperse at that point to get a view of the land as you start leaving port. Once the Let's Set Sail party is over and done with, that's when it's time to probably get ready for dinner and start planning the night ahead. Because there is so much planned on the very first night of a Virgin Voyage, this is a really good tip. Try and book your dinner reservation a little earlier on in the evening. So try for around 6:30 to 7, just to leave you enough time after dinner to do all of those fun activities that come up later on. Or if you prefer to keep things really, really quick, you can just go to the galley or the pizza place, for example. And of course, don't forget, there is also the ship eats option as well, which is the room service that's delivered to your cabin. So after dinner is generally when the evening's entertainment will begin. One piece of entertainment which is always offered on the first night and is always a fantastic thing to do if you're interested in meeting new friends and meeting new sailors on board is the Grog Walk. And the Grog Walk is effectively a bar crawl. So it will start in a particular location, and the Happenings cast, there will generally be 2 or 3 of them guiding your group around, will lead you through some fun activities to get to know new sailors. Now, some of these activities are a little bit tricky to get involved with at the beginning because everyone's a little bit nervous, but you are provided with included drinks as part of this experience. So the experience itself has a cost attached to it, but the drinks that you receive on the experience are included. So once you've had a drink or two, it'll be a lot easier to do these activities to get to know the rest of the group. Now, I'm such an advocate for the Grog Walk because doing the Grog Walk, I have met lifelong friends, but that is just testament to how fun of an experience it is and how good it is at getting people talking and getting people to know one another, which will have such an impact on the rest of your voyage. If you can meet a like-minded group of people before the rest of the sailing, that is half of the battle. You'll be able to go to events, go to club nights with this group of people and have a fantastic time. So it's really important to try and get out of your shell a little bit on the very first night to meet new people and have the best time possible. At the end of the Grog Walk, your very last drink is going to be at another special event, which is available for everyone sailing, not just those in the Grog Walk. This is something that's fairly iconic on Virgin Voyages, and you've probably heard about it if you've done any level of research at all, and that is the PJ party. Now, the PJ party is essentially a 90s or noughties sleepover where everyone arrives in their PJs and there's fun music being played, which generally comprises of cheesy pop that's from the 90s and noughties. So something that you can always sing along to and have a dance to. It's a really fun atmosphere and everyone has a smile on their face at the PJ party. The PJ party itself is studded with little activations which are done by the Happenings cast. So the Happenings cast will come out and perform silly dances or do a PJ competition, for example. There's even a live performance by the hostess. The diva will be out as well. It's a really brilliant event. And again, one of those ways that Virgin Voyages sets the scene for the rest of the voyage. It's silly, it's interactive, it doesn't take itself too seriously. And that is exactly what the Virgin Voyages experience is for those that want to go to these type of events. So you will see more of them coming up on the schedule as you go through your voyage. There probably won't be another PJ party, but there will be other events, and that is generally depending on which ship you're sailing on. To get a good sense of what events to expect on the ship that you're sailing on, go to vvinsider.com and find the ship that you're sailing on. There will be a list of all the events that are available on board. And it's good to know which events are coming up, especially when it comes to club nights, because some of them have a little theme that's attached to it. And although this is totally optional, you can dress to that theme. So for example, We Fancy is a golden and glittering experience. Club Rubik's is an 80s inspired party, and so on and so forth. And again, we have all of the information that you'll need for all of those themed parties at vvinsider.com. So that's it. The PJ party finishes in the early hours of the morning. And that is your very first night on board. You will probably be exhausted, and with any luck, the next day will be a sea day. If it's not, and you're actually in port or have an excursion the next day, just go steady at the PJ party. That's a top tip from me personally, and it comes with a little experience, let's say. So if you found this advice in any way useful, we have a number of videos that go through guides just like this, including how to save money on drinks and also picking the right cabin before you sail. We're building up this catalogue of guided videos to make sure that you have the best time on board Virgin Voyages as possible. But for now, if you want more guides like this, you can read through our written articles, which are on vvinsider.com. If you click on the guides tab, you'll see everything that you'll need to know about having the best Virgin Voyage possible. And if you want to support the work that we do, including these videos, the best way to support us is to book your next Virgin Voyages using our voyage booking tool. So go to vvinsider.com, hit book voyage, and there you can browse all of the prices for every single itinerary that's coming up. There's also a really nifty feature where you can see the pricing history for the voyages as well, so you can make sure that you're getting in at just the right time. We also have an exclusive offer at the moment for some free onboard credits, so take a look on the website for more details about that. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this has been helpful. Make sure that you subscribe. And also go to vvinsider.com and check out all the rest of our guides, information and news.